Welcome to How to Build a Tent. My name is Matt Williams. Thank you for listening to this show. For those of you watching live, I send out a tweet or a link on Facebook for you if you are just online and have nothing better to do and you want to listen to the show live. I may incorporate you into the show. Who knows? You can check that out. You find me on all the social media sites, How to Build a Tent. You can email me, Matt, at howtobuildatent.com. We are part of the Fight, Laugh, Feast network. Go over to fightlaughfeast.com, put an HGBT in the memo field. You'll get this mug that says HGBT, How to Build a Tent. It's a really great 15-ounce mug. There's a few more of these left. The pint glasses, you can get those as well. And then also, the network's doing a book drawing. So if you want to get in on that drawing, you can do that. You get tons of great content. I mean, there's so much value in this. But most of all, you're helping us as we are building this network. We're giving you alternate forms of communication, entertainment, hopefully. It's around and evolves around, I think I said solved and evolved, solved, evolves around Christ being the center, the Lord of everything. And you know, you're going to get some great content as you've heard from the shows. I don't know why I have like this affinity to play with my mic stand. Sorry for those of you watching. Man, I want to talk about Kanye and Kim Kardashian. There's this video clip going around on E! I'm not going to lie to you. I don't watch E! I don't even know what channel it's on. And I've never seen any of the Kardashians. What is it called? Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Never seen an episode of that either. But I thought this was really interesting. I actually saw it on another show and he had some commentary. But I want to talk about it from a Christian perspective and talk about art and talk about acting and the importance of being a Christian and still abiding by what God has called you to do, abiding by God's law, even in the process of creating art. Because for some reason, there seems to be this distinction or separation for those who do the creating of it, and also for those who consume it, who watch it, are impacted by it. And we think that, because it's art, it's not that big of a deal. And I think this interaction between Kanye and Kim, there's a lot of things in here for us to talk about. So I want to talk about that today and then talk about some other stuff if we have time. But I'm not even going to tell you because we might not have time. You know how I am about that. I just sent out and scheduled the next Reformgelical episode. So if you want to get in on that, help support AD and I as we are coming together, talking about from a Reformed and evangelical perspective, the things of today. We'll probably talk about Beth Moore. And I want to talk about also the reason Beth Moore's happened some more, and then some other stuff too. We still are throwing around the agenda because you never know what's going to happen in the next couple of days. So we don't finalize our agenda of what we're going to talk about till the very end, so that we can be the most relevant as possible. And you can also check out past episodes of that on our YouTube. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and this weird one, I forget. It's like Deezer, something like that. I don't know. And then might be working on getting onto the Android stuff as well. There's an extra fee for it. So we're going to need some more patrons before we get to that level. So if you want to see us, if you want to hear our audio show on the other podcast sites besides Spotify or iTunes and help support us, become a patron. I really appreciate that. I also got our book club coming up. Really excited about that. Finishing that up as well. All right. So I'm going to attempt to do another screen share. Last time I did the screen share, I was successful, but I left it on and forgot that it was on. So I apologize for that in advance. So let's do this right now. I'm going to talk about this again. This is Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. And I'm going to stop it because I think there's some key points in here.
Now say that you're not into me wearing a tight dress.
You are my wife, and it affects me when pictures are too sexy.
Of course, it's like a formal underwear. It's hot. It's hot for who though?
So like the night before the event, you're going to come in here and say that you're not into a corset bag.
I just feel like I've just went through this transition.
So there's a few things here, and then we'll continue on with it. So Kanye is realizing that the art, the production that they put on, I mean, part of the production is their real life and their beef and follow, keeping up with the Kardashians, whatever it is. It's reality, quote unquote, TV, even though a lot of it's scripted, or at least most of those are. I don't know about that specific one. Again, I don't watch it. Excuse me. But he is talking about how she dresses impacts him as a husband. And this is really important for us to understand, that what we see on the screen has real impact. It's not a real story most of the time. It's not real life. It's on a screen. It's art. It's technology. But it has real impact, not just in our lives who consume it and it infects us depending on what it is, one way or the other, good or bad. But the artists are not truly detached from the consequences of it. She is putting on these dresses, or what the outfit that Kanye is taking issue with, because she's playing a role. She's playing a brand. She's the sexy model or whatever she does. And she wears sexy things, and it gets men to want her and to lust after her. And Kanye is saying, that is not right. And I don't like it. I don't want it anymore. Because he's going through this process of cleansing out the old as he's becoming a Christian. And that's not even talking about pornography. That's not talking about sex scenes. It's not talking about nudity that is considered art, or just playing the real part of it. Just imagine that. Now, I'm not even talking about just Christians, but in secular people too, it affects them the same way. And think about the children. Like, most of these women that are nude or wearing sexy things that are people are lusting after, like, what do their children think about it? What do they think about it? And the second thing I liked about this was really great, and this is really bold by Kanye. It's like the night before, he's coming in to tell her that just don't do it. And I think sometimes that we can get stuck where we have been doing something wrong and we repent of it. We know that we shouldn't be doing it. Like this, Kanye has been doing things wrong, and he has baggage, and he has momentum of all of these things that are in the public eye that he's going to have to start reversing course on. And this is like an example of it. It's like, you've been wanting me to dress this way, she's saying, but now you want me to change like the night before. And that's a hard conversation to have. It takes boldness. It takes an amount of selfless love, because you know he's getting crap for it. I mean, and husbands, like, you know, we got to do that sometimes. We got to do things that we know we're going to get crap for, but it's because we are dying to ourselves and loving our families, our wives, our children, whoever it is, that you just need to do the hard lessons. But there's going to be consequences. From best I understand, Kanye is saved. He's forgiven of all his sins, but the consequences are still there, and we're seeing it play out. And this is another thing that I wanted to bring up too, is there is a big curse. And I don't mean curse like from God, but I'm just from being in the public spotlight. Or I should say it this way. It's a negative consequence. But it probably feels like a curse in a lot of ways to Kanye at this point. That everything he does with him and his family is going to be in the spotlight. It's going to be a spectacle. And a lot of people are going to be nosy and in their business like they have been before. But what a great opportunity to leverage this for good. What a great opportunity not to stare at the sexy Kim Kardashian and lust after her, not to covet over the cars that Kanye has, but to lift them up in prayer. And to specifically find things that we can pray about as the church. We have an opportunity where we can look past the smiling Sunday morning, how are you doing? I'm great. But actually see what's in their lives to some extent. Why not use this for the glory of God and see these clips, see people talk about it, and take some time to pray for him? That God will empower him, that give him boldness, that Kim will come and submit her life to Christ just like Kanye did, that their kids would follow after as well.
Where from being a rapper, like looking at all these girls and looking at my wife, like, oh, my girl needs to be just like the other girls, showing her body off, showing this, showing that. And I didn't realize that that was affecting like my soul and my spirit as someone that's married and loved and the father of like now with about to be 4 kids.
Kim, shut that down real quick.
You built me up to be this like sexy person and confidence and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just because you're on a journey and you're on your transformation doesn't mean that I'm in the same spot with you.
So now we have a better picture of what we can pray for and what we can lift up and support him with. and encourage Kim with. Like, we have access on social media. We can send encouraging things. We can pray for them. But what a great example of having a hard conversation to do what is right. And I don't want to say anything else negative about it because it's an incredible hard situation. I don't know what that's like. You don't know what it's like. Most likely, you are not in the spotlight. You're not having to have these conversations with the world looking down on you. I mean, you talk about politicians and all these other worldly leaders who are so scared to say anything to offend anybody. And here Kanye is proclaiming the lordship of Jesus. And he is proclaiming the gospel and trying to lead his family in that with the whole world watching, and like bound to offend, bound to upset even his own family. But we just need to remember that all these things have consequences. The art, your life, your previous life before you came to the Lord, even though you're forgiven, there's still the consequences. And so let's be praying, and let's remember that what we do in art and what we watch in art and what we support in art matters, and it impacts more than just the people performing the art. And we should be considering that and praying about that as we consume it as Christians. So let's go out, have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. God